This is the Two Pink Tits podcast. Two tits, no limits, one mission.
Hello, Queens. I'm Coach Darling, your go-to pink queen for prosperity, passion, and perky perspective. And I'm here with my better half in sass, strategy, and my twin boob, the one and only, a little coach with a whole lot of fire, Amy.
Together, we're your double trouble duo behind the Two Pink Tits, the podcast that gives you the lift on all things real, raw, and ridiculously relatable. We've been in a relationship for 3 years, and by the end of 2024, we officially joined forces in business and badassery to bring this bold, boob-powered podcast to life. Each episode, a full cup or two of juicy convo from prosperity, purpose, and personal growth to the unfiltered, saggy, and sometimes unclasped moments of being human.
We're not here to preach, teach, or pop out perfection. We're here to share the lived in, laughed through, cried about, sometimes what the fuck parts of our journey, boobs, brains, and all. So if you're into honest chats, hot takes, deep dives, and maybe just the occasional nipple slip of wisdom, you're in the right place.
Two coaches, two perspectives, two unapologetic pink tits, keeping it real, raw, and a little risque. Bravo, babe.
Shall we dive in?
Okay, well, let me have a think. I think the first titillating topic could be when the universe shows you flames. I'm sure you've had many experiences of when the universe has shown you flames, Coach Darling.
Oh, my soul. How long have you got?
Well, let's just start at the beginning.
Okay, so I love this titillating topic of universal flames. Wow, let's think back. I mean, don't you find it amazing when the universe shows you flames? You always have your guard down. You're always at your weakest moment.
Completely. It literally comes from behind.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen it. There's no warning signs. There's no smoke signals to tell you that it's coming. It just literally comes from behind.
And you're always having the worst like cuckus day, you know, like you've hit your toe on the corner of the bed.
Completely.
You know, that you by accidentally, you know, kicked the dog and now you got to go to the vet before work.
No, but the best for me is the force of it. So here it is. It hasn't announced itself, but then it comes with this force that you honestly literally could be taken out by.
100%. I think only as I matured as an adult did I finally realize, oh God, it's the universe trying to guide me. Sorry, wasn't paying attention.
Now I am, and I get the lesson learned.
The universe was kind of not too bad to me in the 30s. I got a fairly decent dose in the 30s here or there. But my favorite flame, my favorite universal, I missed you, let me just come and fuck up your day flame, would be when I turned 40. I've just entered this new beautiful decade. I'm like, oh my God, fourth decade, it's going to be magical. I read all the Instagram posts that said love begins at 40. And I was like, yes. 3 days after I turned 40, I had an operation.
Oh, do share those perky details with us.
I mean, the details are not that perky, but let's just say having an operation 3 days after your 40th birthday does not start the decade in the best way.
Definitely not.
Actually, Coach Amy, I think you have some interesting health hiccups. Universal flame #+ health hiccup, I think you could talk quite a bit about. So why don't you tell me about your little health hiccup over there, Miss Coach Amy?
Again, how much time do you have? But, you know, there's a lot to get off my chest when it comes to health hiccups and operations. So, when I first health hiccup, let me think, because there's been quite a lot. So
I think you were special and it only hit you in your 30s, right?
And you know what? Universal flame, it happened during COVID.
Of course.
So there was no support, there was no visiting from family and friends, there was no anything. It was isolation 101, just to add to the operation and near-death experience. Nice. So December 2020. I literally woke up one morning with a searing pain right through the middle of me like a hot poker, and I collapsed on the basin. I literally was in so much pain. I saw black and just felt the pain. Dropped to the floor, screamed out to my mom. Luckily, I was living with her at the time. If I was alone, who knows? But luckily enough, I screamed out and said, "Mom, call an ambulance." So that's when my first health hiccup started. Literally called an ambulance. I managed to martyrdom Amy 101, walked up those stairs, got in that ambulance herself, and from there, it was just quite eye-opening. I ended up in a government hospital because my medical aide said that I had a precondition. So they denied me access to a private hospital. I spent 11 excruciating days at Helen Joseph all by myself.
Listeners, let me remind you, this is COVID hard lockdown.
It was.
You are not allowed to leave your house.
Not at all.
You are not allowed to go anywhere. You're not even allowed to visit in a hospital. This was when they locked the hospitals down too. And we're talking about a South African government hospital.
So now, in the midst of all of that, I wasn't a big person on asking for help or reaching out. It was always,
you walked up the stairs, Miss Independence.
I really did.
Okay,
and I was in
got
no
you.
state to do so, but I did it because I thought I was strong enough to do it. But anyways, I had to ask for help. So when I got to this government hospital, I was petrified. I couldn't even think clearly. I was in so much pain. I had to cry out for help. After 17 hours of being in a casualty, trying to be seen to by a nurse, it was just excruciating. I eventually, and I'll never forget it, I reached out to this lady in pink scrubs. She told me she was a psychiatrist. I literally said to her, "I don't care. You have to get me onto a bed and I need pain meds. I need to be hooked up to a drip. I need something." So, that taught me a huge lesson in just crying out for help and asking for the support of others, because especially when I got up to the ward, I had to make friends with strangers because those people got me through. I can't even tell you. I mean, I couldn't even reach down to my water bottle. And I literally used to ask my neighbor next door, and I used to say to her, "Please, can you just pass me my water bottle?" And she eventually ended up to be what I called my security guard.
Oh, nice.
So eventually
making friends in scary places.
So when I eventually got the courage to have a cigarette, I mean, having had this health hiccup.
Well, I mean, hold on. We haven't even spoken about why you're in this hospital.
Oh, yes, of course. I've got to get to those bits, of course.
Okay, so the ambulance comes to get you. You end up in the government hospital. What actually happened? What is it? What happened?
Okay, so it turns out I had something called diverticulitis. And
sneaky.
even though I'd gone for scopes and tests previous years before, they didn't pick it up. So I had diverticulitis, and it was left untreated.
What is diverticulitis? What does that actually mean?
Well, it's a disease that is it was in my large intestine. So what happens is, certain types of foods like seeds or skins of fruit or vegetables get stuck in your intestines.
Oh, right.
And basically, if you're not going to the bathroom properly, they have a build-up. So what happens is it obviously gets jam-packed. I'm just putting it bluntly.
Nice.
But what happened is...
You backed up, kids.
You backed up. They called it fecal loading. So let me... exactly.
Glorious statement.
So what happened was it obviously had a build-up in my large intestine. So I ended up having a colon perforation, which is essentially a hole in your colon. So my entire contents of my stomach was septic, and it spilled into all of the quadrants. The septic, I was vomiting green algae-like liquid out of both ends. Sorry to be crude, but it was both ends.
This is a raw, natural and real show.
It really is, and we're getting to the real tidbits.
Okay, so you couldn't even reach over the bed and get a bottle of water.
Definitely not.
You had to make friends. You had to ask for help.
And they were tough cookies. It wasn't a matter of, "Please pass me this." It was like, "Please." It was like begging. But you know what? I am so grateful for those guiding lights, is what I call them. On this journey, I had 3 beautiful ladies that I made friends with who just helped me, whether it was giving my brother a pep talk to say, "Your sister nearly died. You actually need to pay attention and give her love and support." From the other lady who I called my personal bodyguard. She was my bodyguard. So she helped me walk down because at that stage I couldn't even muscle up any strength to walk. And she helped me down the stairs. If I didn't ask for help, I would have been in an even darker place to begin with.
Jeez.
That was just my first operation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so unfortunately, it was called the Hartman's procedure.
Okay.
So I eventually had what was called a stoma. So a part of your colon is sticking through your stomach, essentially. So what happens is that's where you go to the bathroom.
So it's actually out of your stomach, right?
Yes, it is, because that diseased part, that diverticulitis, that part that was infected, had to be cut out.
Ooh.
I had a third of my colon cut out. And then what happened was you need to kind of give your colon a break from that traumatic experience that it's been through. You essentially go to the bathroom through that part, that stoma, that's part of the intestine that's sticking through.
You have this operation. You're in this great state of trauma. You arrive at this hospital that you already know as a South African person. This is like a proper terrifying
Completely.
experience.
I never thought I'd ever be in that situation.
God,
It was
okay.
my worst nightmare come to real life.
Wow. So you wake up and you don't even, did you know that you
I
were going to
didn't
have a
sleep.
colostomy bag?
I had no idea. There was no pre-warnings of it. There was no, this is what it is. I actually had no idea what a colostomy bag was until I woke up and it was on me.
Geez, so that's like seriously universal flame health hiccup punch to the tits, right?
It wasn't the healthiest version of myself, and I moved countries. I went to Hong Kong. It was different food, very stressful kind of lifestyle. So didn't really treat my body how I should have. So that was definitely a factor. The other factor is that, diverticulitis is genetic.
It's hereditary.
Yeah, it is genetic. I got it from my mom's side of the family. My gran and my uncle had it, which I later found out after I was diagnosed.
Thanks for telling me, kids.
And I also knew that I needed to love my body more than I did. And you know what? I don't regret it. It was the worst thing that probably happened to me in my life, but I don't regret it because who I am today, the lessons I've learned, how I actually just navigate my life now is completely different and so much for the better.
I love this. And this is the thing what always amazes me about universal flames and lessons. And, at the time we think, oh my God, how could this possibly be happening to me?
Completely.
Like you are having the lowest, worst moment of your whole life.
Completely.
You are completely disabled in your emotions. You are completely disabled in all your thoughts. And all you can think is, how the hell did this happen to me?
Completely.
How the hell did I
Or
get
even
here?
why did this happen to me?
Why?
Because if I actually had to reflect on my life, I really have never been a bad person. You sometimes think, okay, well, if maybe I was a bitch or an asshole or something, or did
I killed someone's cat.
Exactly, or did something terribly wrong. But in all honesty, I was the fixer in my family. I was the ever supportive friend. I've always sort of put people before myself. And that was my real lesson, is that I had actually put everyone before myself. And that's what I needed to learn. That was my essential lesson, life lesson to learn, was that I needed to put myself first.
I absolutely love that you have shared this story with us. You're writing a book about this, aren't you?
I really am. And as I'm writing, it's hard, but your traumas and your triggers and your limiting beliefs will always be there. But being a coach has really sort of helped me with the tools to lessen those punches to the tits. It's amazing what I've learned through this journey and continue to learn.
I am so proud of you, Coach Amy. This is quite a story, and for our listeners, I know your backstory quite well, and I look forward to, over the next few episodes, sharing more and more of the story. You didn't end at one operation. There has been some more twists and turns in this jungle.
Yeah, definitely. My operations and my health hiccups have determined very much who I am today. And it's not going to be something that I'm going to be quiet about. The career that I was in, I had to be quiet about it. I had to put a face on it. I had to go back to work after this major operation and teach children, educate them.
Oh my God. Okay, wait, hold on a second.
Okay.
You were a teacher. You were a
was,
teacher.
Yes.
What grade?
So I taught grade 4 maths.
Holy
One of the
hell.
most serious subjects to teach.
Wow. So you're not only did you have a massive health hiccup in COVID,
I did. Yeah.
you were a teacher in COVID. Now, in case anyone's memory has been wiped from that time, and you might have kids if you listen to this podcast, I think you might remember that terrible time where you became the educator of your children because they were sitting on a Teams call with their teacher.
Yes, they were. So, funny enough, it was a bittersweet moment for me because as I sort of had my operation, it was when the lockdown happened and we had to transition to online teaching. We had to learn Teams, we had to learn different tools, how to use the whiteboard online, how do you set up a meeting, how do you share documents. But you know what? I'm so glad that I had that time because I was trying to wrap my head around having a colostomy bag and having to deal with that, change that. How do I go to the bathroom? I'm glad that I had that time at home to just, because it was quite humiliating.
I'm sure.
Nothing was quite normal. I couldn't go to the bathroom normally. I couldn't shower properly. I couldn't even shower. So it was a beautiful time for me just to, even though I had to learn all these different things and I had to, get onto online teaching, I had that space at home.
So I want to actually draw just an interesting insight. Well, actually, I would like to take a perky tits insight here.
Okay.
Perky
Nice.
tits.
A
Perky
handful,
tits,
a handful.
I'd like a handful segue here. Isn't it amazing when the universe delivers? It is so incredibly amazing to me when there is a moment to reflect on the lesson, to sit in the space of gratitude. I go, oh, okay, I totally saw that. I totally needed that to happen.
Yeah, completely.
There's like a moment where you go, oh, I see it. Okay, I get it. You either going down the wrong path, you interacting with the wrong things, you doing the wrong actions. And, this is kind of universal redirection, right? This is like, oh, no, we don't like that road for you.
Yeah, it
Time
really
to change.
was. Exactly. I went into teaching loving it. I had a passion to just make a difference, educate the youth. I loved it. I didn't do it for the money. We know that part.
Yeah.
But, I did reflect back and think, okay, well, was this also universal flame / sign that I had to get out of teaching? Like that literally, I had this operation and I had to take, well, everyone had to take the COVID break, should I say in inverted commas. The universe created a time out for me. It was maybe because I was burnt out and exhausted from the actual profession, but it was also universal timing for me. I got the time to sort of nurture my body, do beautiful healing, softening meditations. I had that time for myself. And in a way, it was a gift.
That's amazing. And I love that that's the insight and that's the, the perspective from this. And I can't wait to talk in future episodes
Completely.
about this healing meditations because this is a subject that Coach Amy and myself are hugely passionate about.
And we use this tool every single day. It's part of our daily routine practice.
It's our universal first aid kit.
It really is. I love that. I love that.
I think we have covered the double D of topics today. Universal flames, health hiccups. So, how do we show up with our tits out, tits up, and tits forward?
Raising your vibration. Now, this is a game-changing tool. I know that I use this every day. So raising your vibration.
So give me like a real life.
I'll give you a real-life example.
A real-life example.
Let's say you've peeled your eyes open and you have this feeling of dread, like, I don't want to get out of bed. I have no motivation. I don't even want to get out of bed to go and shower, to start my day, to do anything. That is when you are in your lowest vibration.
Okay.
So
are you feeling a lot of negative emotions?
Completely. It's all consuming.
Okay.
It's all negative.
Okay.
It's down.
So you wake up, you're feeling shit, your husband's been snoring like a tractor the whole night, the dog shat on the carpet, you get up, you stub your toe. Okay, you are already cursing and swearing. It's 6 a.m. The light hasn't even come into the room. Your vibration is now down, compromised for
I
the
don't
rest
even
of
know
the
if you
day.
are vibrating at that level, but we'll just
We're doing
call
a
it that.
gentle hum at this stage.
Yes, exactly.
What kind of things can we do now to turn this, gentle hum into something that's actually vibrating on a good vibration
Yeah,
level?
well, you know what? Raising your vibration essentially is trying to have that feel good factor. So finding things that make you feel good. Solo silent disco sessions.
Ooh,
I love
yes.
to put in a brilliant playlist of my favorite tunes, whether it's T Swift or Rihanna, and I bust out those tunes, and that completely raises my vibration.
Okay, so raising your vibration is it's giving yourself space and time to feel better, right?
Completely. It's not a flight to health. It's not a flight to extreme excitement or happiness or, yay, my life is brilliant all of the time. It's nothing like that. It's just a small step to feeling better.
I love that. The more we feel better, we obviously start to attract better, right?
Completely. So
Okay.
as you feel better, you're going to attract greater experiences.
Right.
Even people, even situations. It's mind-changing what will happen in a day if you do this.
Here's our coaching titting top tip.
Completely. I love it. I love it. Raising your vibration, whether it's screaming from the rooftops, celebrating little successes that you've had in a day, whether you are splashing your face with water and taking deep breaths because you're about to have a meltdown, whether you want to do a beautiful yoga session, listen to a fun podcast like ours.
Yes, hashtag follow our podcast.
Two pink tits.
Two pink tits. Raising your vibration, looking for reasons every day to feel good. You just start to attract more and more reasons to feel good.
Exactly.
You're never going to stop the universal, oh my God, right?
No, definitely not. It's still going to throw those flames at you.
It's going to throw that flamethrower. And when it does, here is our perky, bright and sparkly tit tip.
Love it.
Okay.
Absolutely love it. I use it every day.
I actually use it every day too. And you know what? I look for reasons to feel good.
It becomes habitual. It's brilliant. I love it.
I love that. I think that's the most amazing conversation we can have about getting punched in the tits. I don't know how you feel.
I really think we have done a great boob job of these topics today.
We have done an amazing boob job. And Coach Amy, it is always a pleasure to share this space with you. I look forward to unfolding further episodes together.
Thank you, Coach Darling.
So if you ever feel like life is just happening to you instead of for you, we're here to flick the straps because, babe, you were born to be bold, brilliant, and wildly prosperous.
So tune in to our next episode with your tits up, tits out, tits forward.
This is the Two Pink Tits podcast. Two tits, no limits, one mission.
Yay! That was so good.
Yeah, not too bad. We didn't sound too cuck.
No, we didn't.
I like it. I love it. So, folks, here's the legal stuff. Right? Okay, legal stuff. We are not registered psychologists or psychiatrists. We do not prescribe medication, pills, or anything other than really good high vibe ideas.
Exactly. Love that. Couldn't have put it even better.
Exactly. We are just two coaches looking to make the world a better place for women and raise our vibration collectively.
Love it. Thank you, Coach Darling.
Thanks, Coach Amy. Bye.